Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Well, folks, another week gone by here, and we're recording, this weekend, geeking out over Clone Wars. Another Clone Wars episode, episode number 10, counting down till the end.
That's right, The Phantom Menace. Interesting title.
Yeah. Well, it's actually The Phantom Apprentice, but yeah, I actually thought the exact same thing too when the title popped up. It does make sense in the scope of the episode, and we'll talk about that later, but it was kind of funny that it was so close to Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just before we get started in the episode, how's your week been going?
Not too bad. It's been a long week, back on 6 days, but finally over with, ready to enjoy a day off and catch up on sleep.
Yeah, it has. It's been a strangely long week, and you're not the first person to say that. I've been trying to do some some like Zoom meetings with people, and me and a friend of mine have been watching like a television show here and there, just to sort of pass time, I guess, a little bit. But it seemed like a very long week, and I think that I'm sort of at a bit of a breaking point where it's like, okay, well, something has to give here, because I'm starting. It's starting to go a little bit nutty, and that's not a good thing for me, man.
I'll tell you what, I bet when everything opens up, you're just going to have a ton of people walking around, like going to the mall with no purpose, going to the mall just to be around people.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, there's been a fair amount of folks that have just, you see them out, at least in my neighborhood, walking around and riding bikes and doing their thing. But yeah, it's just kind of difficult. I was going to go to the Home Depot today or the Depot, as I like to call it. There's a T at the end. I mean, come on. To get some paint. I've got a couple of things outside that I want to paint, and then I've got a ton of stuff that I've been. You ever notice how you say, and it's not like I've had any more free time during this whole day, because I haven't. I'm still working and all that stuff, just working at home. But you ever know how you ever think about like how it's like, oh, I got all these things, and then you still don't do them?
No, I don't know that at all.
So today I was like, okay,
we don't get that from our dad at all either.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, exactly. We were just discussing before this show doing things that he's not doing for himself. But yeah, I was like, well, I get the mower started, make sure that that's all good and running. Cut part of the yard because the front of the yard is looking like garbage. Get some grass seed, get some weed and feed, throw that out on the front of the yard, get that, hopefully back to the way it should be because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I wanted to get some of this stuff out now. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go get paint. I'll go get all this paint and, I'll see what I can do today. And then, maybe just save it throughout the week. I'll get a bunch of trim pulled and painted and my doors and my cabinets and all this stuff that I've been, I'll finally do it. And then we've got projects that we've been talking about, your birthday present that you already know about for next month. And I go to the Home Depot and there's this, and I would say there are probably about 20 people in this line. Not social distancing, not staying 6 feet apart, one on top of the other.
Only while they're in the store does that matter.
Yeah,
clearly.
I guess. But they're all standing there. It's like, I'm not doing this. I am not standing in that line. And I hate to keep bringing this up because honestly, I think many of the people, including us, are a little tired of it. But I do think it's a little cathartic to get this out here. And maybe some of you have the same opinions, but I just am not going to stand in that line. I just won't do it. I'll do it later when there's no line. I feel like I'm just not going to participate in that. For better or worse,
Well, and the
I am
thing
not
is,
going
again,
to
you're
participate.
still, you're still working, so your time is still valuable. I mean, I guess if I was let go during all this or laid off, then yeah, I wouldn't mind standing in line for a while. It wouldn't be a big deal. But when you're working 50, 60 hours a week, I'm not going to do that either.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know even if that were the case and I wasn't working throughout the week, if I would still engage in that. I don't know. There's something in my brain that that's just said, it's like, I'm not doing that. And I'm sure that there are some people out there, well, it's necessary. And I'm not saying it isn't. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm just saying that I am not going to do that. Just plain and simple.
Well,
There's no ulterior motive.
Necessary. It's not necessary you stay in the line. You have choices to go somewhere else. So why would you?
Well,
why would you do that? Because you don't know how long people are going to be shopping in there. If they're just aimlessly wandering around to kill time, I'm not going to spend 2 hours in line waiting for them.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I was probably going to be in there for a while because I needed a little bit of mulch. I was going to get grass seed there and the weed and feed. I was going to look at weed whackers. I was going to look at pressure washers. I needed some different light bulbs. Paint is going to take time because you have to go get the paint from the paint department, and then they mix it and do their thing. Because, at least one of them is colored, so I can't necessarily just pull that off the shelf. It's not like the standard white outdoor paint. So anyway, it's like I'm going to have to engage in there. I'd probably be in there for an hour myself. And I know where everything is in that Home Depot. But it's just like, I'm just not going to stand in the line. I won't do it. I looked at that line and I made an automatic choice. I wasn't even thinking about it. It's like, I'm just not going to do that. So I went to Steak and Shake and I got a hamburger and I ate that while listening to Dan Crenshaw's new book, which is actually very interesting. If you not political, he's just a very interesting guy, former Navy SEAL. Or retired Navy SEAL. I was not in the military. I know people get a little bit, upset about the terminology there, but he was a Navy SEAL. He's not active in Navy SEAL anymore. But anyway, interesting book. I sat there in their parking lot. I ate my burger and my little tiny, stupid fries that they do. They're tiny.
The shoestring.
Yeah, I hate those. I really do. And drank my Coke and I listened to this book.
Magically everything you needed appeared in the trunk while you were doing it.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That would have been great, but it didn't happen. But I did get out and I got a propane tank for the grill and I got some gas for the mower and I mowed and I spread my seed and all that stuff and my weed and feed and hopefully the front of my yard's all nice and green tomorrow, right? It happens that quick.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to rain for 5 days straight. It might saturate a bit too much.
It might. I might have wanted to do that last week or something, but I was too lazy. But anyway, I think that's enough of not talking about Star Wars. So let's go ahead and get into a couple of things here. What were we going to talk about? Did we have ancillary topics? Oh, I think we did. There were two.
We had stuff to gloss over.
Yeah, let's get glossy.
A potentially fake trailer for season 2 of Mando.
Yeah,
it's more than likely fake.
Well, and that's the thing, because I had saw some stuff circulating about that, and I just didn't watch it. First of all, I'm a bit trailered out. But secondly, I thought it was fake at the beginning, and they were like, "Oh no, I think it's real." And you sent me a link, and it was a completely fake one.
I didn't watch the whole video, and it turned into this parody.
Yeah, it was like a parody with like some puppet Yoda smoking a cigarette or something. And then I don't know. I mean, obviously I think we might be a little bit too far away for a trailer yet. We might still have some time until an actual trailer, because I think when was it dropping? October? I think
the announcement.
No, the show, season 2 is dropping this year.
Yeah,
let me see.
Something like that, I think. Thing is, we could potentially see a teaser trailer at this point, but we're not going to get anything concrete that's even worth watching.
Yeah. Okay.
To be
So
honest.
season 2 is set to drop in October. So there we go. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I need a trailer for it. I just need it to, come on and
Happen.
let's watch.
Yeah.
There was an article out here, and there weren't a lot of sources. There was basically just this one movieweb.com. So again, this could be incorrect as well, but talking about some of the episode names. So saying 8 episodes. The first episode, The Search. Episode 2, The Confrontation. Episode 3, The Bounty. Episode 4, The Republic. Episode 5, The Loyalist. Episode 6, The Sorcerer. Episode 7, The Return. And Episode 8, The Empire.
So we got 3 that stand out there to me. Obviously, the Republic and Empire. But, are we going to have a Jedi? Yes, we are. So is the Sorcerer going to be Ahsoka? Yes, probably.
Well, maybe. Let's not count our chickens so quickly on that, because I think we have to be careful about assuming that Ahsoka is going to be in this. I think we do, because one, Rosario Dawson is not confirmed to play Ahsoka. So that was huge news. But that's sort of been backtracked quite a bit, even by Rosario herself. And I think there are some ancillary reasons why that could happen, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know if we're going to see Ahsoka. And in an episode that I did with a few folks that just some randos posted 2 weeks ago, I think, recreating our bonfire bonfire bunch at Celebration. God, I can't even remember anybody's name. Those random podcasters. Sam and Zach from Sith Talk, Lindsay from Clashing Sabers, Ez from Hyperspace Hangout, and let's see here. They changed their name, so I have to look it up every time now, because I lost track of them, because the former podcast used to be called The Rule of Two, and it is now called, I got to get in our in our group chat here. Okay, so Balance of the Force, and that was John who was on there. David, secondary David, was not able to attend, but yeah, Balance of the Force. I actually did find that I followed them on Twitter, and I just didn't realize it was them. But The Rule of Two, that's really what their podcast used to be called. They had to change it, so it's now Balance of the Force. But during that talk, we had discussed what could possibly be seen during Celebration. And the thing that I said was the new episode of Rebels, because that could potentially explain how Ahsoka comes into The Mandalorian. Because right now, it would be so random to see her after the conclusion of the last season of Rebels. So I think we have to have that. We have to have that sort of conclusion to that. But the issue is that it'll all be released out of order, unless somehow they secretly did all of Rebels already, and it's going to drop this summer. You know what I mean?
That would be awesome. I wouldn't mind.
A secret so secret that Dave Filoni didn't even know the secret.
Hey, you know how we do week to week? Well, we're not doing that. You have Rebels now.
Yeah, that'd be wild. But
sign into Disney right now as you're watching this, and it's already there.
Mm-hmm. But when the rumors started happening for Ahsoka and Mandalorian, I was just like, but
why?
How? No, not why. How was my question. I'm always cool with Ahsoka, but I was just like, well, but how though? You haven't explained Rebels yet. How? So I don't know.
And that's a big time jump too. So it's gonna be really, really hard to fill in all those little details.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But you're right. The episode The Sorcerer was something that a lot of folks had said, well, that's probably where Ahsoka's going to come in. So I don't know.
Or a Jedi. Doesn't have to be Ahsoka.
I don't think it will be, though. I don't think it'll be a Jedi at all. I think it'll be something different. Mandalorian's not
a Night Mother. Maybe a secret Night Mother that survived the Purge.
No, I don't think that's what it'll be either. I think we're done with Dathomir, which I kind of am. I'm hoping that we are done with Dathomir, personally.
Dathomir did not really have to be a part of Star Wars. I hate to say it.
Yeah. I guess it all just depends on what you like. For me, I
like Asajj and Maul. That's about it.
Sure. So, but yeah, some of these things here are going to be interesting. We should be seeing. Shoot, I can't. This bad name can't remember over here. The assassin. The assassin that was, quotations killed. Probably see her character again. And then, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of different ways you could go. But really, I think it's, what really happens with the Baby Yoda. Are we going to their planet, or is it just going to become a little Mandalorian?
I'm fine with him being a foundling.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that'd be interesting.
Right. And then you even said that foundling. Are they going to explain this group of Mandalorians finally? Because that's not, it's not historically what Mandalorians are.
And a lot of them are dead now. So how are we going to get an explanation on them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is this the way? I don't know. It hasn't been historically. Well,
it's our way, man.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. So some of the titles were, and then the other piece of news
placeholders for a better title, I would say.
Maybe, yeah. And they could be completely different too, so. Let's see here. The other piece of news was a Dr. Aphra audio drama or audio book written by Sarah, who don't know how to say it, Kuhn, Con, I don't know, something of that nature, but I just spelled it out for you, so there you go. She actually retweeted the post there, and I followed her, but that should be interesting, saying it's like a full cast of characters, just like Dooku. So that was one of the things that you had brought up. You think it's going to be another Dooku Jedi Lost, and I was like, oh, it might be. I don't know if Aphra has that kind of polling power for people to listen to it like Dooku, but I was
with more of that. I like that format.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was great. And I was very interested to dive into Dr. Aphra because they were going to relaunch her series after they had ended it. Because I didn't really read that comic series. It was very spotty. So I was happy. And then, of course we don't have comics. Although DC said that they are supposed to be starting back up, I think this week or next week. So they're going to start printing again. Marvel, the rest aren't, but DC is trying to get the comics back out there. So, which I kind of hope they can.
Good for them.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, I really do. And here's the thing, man. Why can't they just release the digital stuff? Hell, half the people nowadays are reading like Comixology or, whatever online thing. Release, please. Like, give us some media. Yeah, I'm going to go back and buy the actual physical print ones because I like that. But at least give us the content.
Yeah. And if you have that sent straight to you, I mean, it's really not all that unsafe anyway. So I don't really see why they wouldn't do it.
Well, you know how it is. There's a lot of trying to be very safe right now, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's it is interfering with a lot right now for sure.
If nothing else, we need a few YouTubers to get these issues during the shutdown, so we can at least read them with them. Do a read along or something.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, yeah, so those are a couple of recent things there. We've kind of been all over the place with the show, mainly just going over the series, but eventually we'll get back and actually do current events maybe. Or maybe we'll just restart our rereads. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just have to start from the beginning. I don't remember any of this.
There you go, man.
Re-record the rereads.
Yeah, re-record everything.
Chapter 1, week 2. Chapter 2, week 3. Chapter 3. Jeez. I'm done with this.
Yes. Well, anyway, maybe one day. But let's go ahead and jump ourselves into episode 10, season 7, Phantom Apprentice. Phantom Apprentice. I can't say it. Jeez.
Phantom Apprentice.
Yeah. And this just left off right where we ended in our previous episode, right in the sewer with Ahsoka and Maul and their stare down. And did you notice that Maul has a little earring?
No.
He does. He has in his left ear on the top of his ear. It's not like a, one at the bottom of the lobe. It's like up top.
That's hardcore.
So
bro. Hardcore.
I got my
hardcore Sith Lord.
Get my cartilage pierced next week.
I tap into the dark side when I flick my ring. It hurts so bad.
Oh, Darth Maul, man. So yeah, we have a bit of our confrontation here, and I guess before we actually start running through this, what did you think of this episode?
I thought this was an awesome episode. I think I said last week that the episode we had was by far the best of the season. I'd have to retract that statement now, I think. Some of the best lightsaber combat, probably the best lightsaber combat in the series, for obvious reasons. We'll get into that a little bit later. Great dialogue, some really emotional moments. I'm really enjoying how they are tying this in to Revenge of the Sith. I think they're handling it perfectly. So, Agreed. Overall, just a grade A episode. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it was a very good episode. Obviously, kind of a continuation. So I think, and we talked about this last week too, about like some petitions going around to get these 4 parts blended into one movie, and actually have like a director's cut off, or any extra, those extra animated scenes that they, dropping stuff, extra animated scenes, that they created but they didn't put in, because that's what everybody.
The unrefined ones that look like garbage. Yeah, those are always great.
Yeah. But no, it was a great episode. Excuse me. Right around, I think in total the actual whole runtime was 27-ish minutes, but that does include your beginning and your end credits and everything. But it seemed like a longer episode. Like it felt longer because it was so in depth.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the last 2 episodes have felt just like part of a movie. I mean, they're doing a great job. It did seem pretty long. They put so much into this episode. Correct. I mean, they just jam-packed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. I just think, there's just so much content here. But anyway, let's just jump right into the episode, and different beginning music here, a little bit more ominous. Still the Lucas title up there, which is cool. And then we start with our face off with Ahsoka and Darth Maul. Ahsoka's sabers are ignited. Maul doesn't really seem all that concerned. Even kind of was like, Ahsoka, Tano, it's not a name that I know much of, And he obviously kind of reiterates that he's looking for Kenobi. And Skywalker to come in, and didn't expect her. And she's like, well, he's got bigger, like basically bigger fish to fry. And then he kind of has that moment. He's like, I wonder if it's already started. Oh,
yes. He has that moment a few times, doesn't he? When he comes.
Right. And that's the thing. And it's directly like, is Order 66 happening right now? Are the clones turning? Because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows, and he's had we learn, he's had this vision, and he knows of Darth Sidious, obviously. He knows of the plans now. He kind of realizes his part in all of this. And there's a specific reason he wanted old Kenobi there and Skywalker there. We'll get to that here in a second. But Ahsoka does activate her little wrist device, homing device, and Rex and the boys mess everything up. And let me just ask you this. It's a small point, but you know how all the Rex's like battalion had the orange on their helmet?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
It disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on, Rex. I mean, you can't support your girl anymore? Just sort of?
It's almost like they animated that episode after the rest of them.
Makes you think.
And it was just an afterthought to add the orange.
Makes you think. It makes you think, man. But I mean, the other troopers obviously did. But yeah, Rex, I think maybe just to make sure he stands out, didn't have the orange. So again, we're kind of walking through this very slow confrontation, but clones show up. We do get just a bit of a clash of sabers here. And, Maul, he says something like, not yet or whatever, pushes her away, throws Rex at her, and is able to escape with a couple of the Mandalorians here that support him down in the sewer. And in their pursuit, they lose him. Couple losers.
Yes. The labyrinth of sewer tunnels.
Just like
that serve no purpose.
It's France all over again. So then we kind of get our little planning meeting. We've got Kenobi here, sort of giving a little bit more information. Ahsoka does mention the name Sidious. Kenobi, I don't know. I think some people will see certain faults in Obi-Wan, and obviously we can debate that, but he says, it's like, I'll share everything I know with Bo and Rex there. But ultimately, there's still a lot that he is not going to entrust anyone that isn't in the Jedi Order at this point. I mean, not even Rex. Because after he sort of talks about Sidious, it's like we have suspicions that, Sidious is behind the entire war. He's been playing us all. But then when it kind of gets to more personal stuff, it's like not even Rex is hanging around for that. He's like only Ahsoka at this point because she's a Jedi, right? I mean, you think Obi-Wan's maybe he just getting a little paranoid himself?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Obviously, he should be able to trust Rex at this point. Well, you could also make the argument why you wouldn't want to trust a clone right about now, but it's not like he knew anything about that. So I did think it was kind of strange. He knew all along from the beginning.
Does drop here, though, that Dooku is dead. So we're now in episode 3. And Anakin killed him. Not like defeated him, he killed him. It's an interesting choice of words.
Yeah. Well, there's gravity to the words.
Yes.
In my opinion. Especially with Ahsoka. A gravity that would be kind of lost on Rex.
Yeah.
Probably.
Even as close as Rex is to Anakin as well. But
Rex doesn't understand the Jedi code, so he wouldn't really.
So he does kind of like sort of ask Ahsoka to talk to Anakin. And, he drops that, he's watching the Chancellor now. The council asked him to do that. And Ahsoka, it's interesting her facial features here because when she's not looking at Obi-Wan, you can clearly tell that she's trying to work through a lot of this, that she has concerns about the Chancellor and what's going on. But when she turns to him, she's still very defiant because again, like we kind of talked about in the last episode, I think she's still very suspicious of even Obi-Wan being on the count, being part of the count, being a Jedi Order and all that stuff. And I think that some of that is kind of clouding her own judgment at this point, but it's very hard for everyone to think that, I mean, the Chancellor, really? This guy who's been so supportive of us? And I got to tell you,
you mean the one that mentored Anakin all this time as he grows in anger? No.
Yep, exactly. So we do get that that Obi-Wan is being dispatched to deal with Grievous. I don't remember the planet now.
Utapau.
There we go, Utapau. And I mean, heck, man, Anakin could just be like, he could have just, saw Mace Windu shot out of a window. He could be killing younglings for all we know right now. I mean, he could be just going nutty, right? Not really. I mean, I understand.
If I would have to guess, with the timeline we're at right now, I'd say we're probably 12 to 24 hours before Order 66.
Right.
Because of the timeline with Utapau.
Yeah. Obviously, makes sense. I know he's not off killing younglings because I was in the midst of Order 66, and if that were the case, everybody would have been going insane by now. But yeah, we're so close. And I don't know about you, but like I've said this to a few people. Even with episode 3, we knew what was going to happen, and we know what's going to happen here. But for some reason, this all feels so much more eerie to me. Yeah. Because it's almost like on the outside looking
the aftermath.
Yeah, but I didn't even have that feeling with episode 3, though. Not to this extent.
Well, I don't think we really knew exactly what could happen like we do now.
Yeah.
And every moment, the other thing is every moment that Ahsoka spends with a trooper puts her closer into a really dangerous spot because she's still going to be looked at as a Jedi. She's still going to be a target.
Exactly. Clearly. And even when we're on here, we're on Mandalore, and you have, because we even have Bo here, kind of like, I don't really like having all these troopers here, and Rex is like, well, we don't like being your police force. They're everywhere, man. Yeah. The clones are everywhere. They have everybody under control right now. Yep. They are the power here. And Ahsoka's like, well, as soon as we
the Senate.
Yeah. There was a meme I saw. It's like, well, why does everybody keep calling Palpatine Sheev? He told us his name forever ago, and they had this whole deal where it was like, when he was talking to Queen Amidala, he was like, let me be Frank. So implying that his name is Frank. It's like, why are you calling him Sheev or the Senate or all of this stuff? They told us his name in the first episode. Let me be Frank, Your Majesty.
Frank Palpatine.
Frank Palps.
So Grandpa stupid. Frank, no, don't destroy all my friends. No.
It's so stupid. So dumb. But even here, like Ahsoka's like, we're here to capture Maul, and as soon as you do, you have your chance to lead. And we already know that that's not the case. She doesn't get her chance to lead until Rebels, basically, when she's given the Darksaber. And it kind of makes you wonder, like at least it makes me wonder, is Bo-Katan really the person to lead Mandalore? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but it's like, so she could have been more assertive here and taken control, right? Am I wrong about that? And
she's a great warrior, but I think she's always going to be more of a commander, not a leader. I mean, she's not going to lead the entire people. She's going to lead a group, a small group in battle. And I feel like that's about the extent of her limit. The limit of her abilities,
I don't know. I mean, I think that there has to be more of the story written, but like, people say that she's not her sister. Well, you don't need Satine. I mean, you don't need the pacifist.
I don't know why you'd compare. Right now is not the time for Satine's.
Right. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you don't need another pacifist. You don't need her to be Satine, but I think one of the interesting things is that I would like to know is, okay, so we have everything collapsing. The Empire rises up. So what exactly has she been doing all this point to when effectively, she was given the Darksaber in Rebels? I'd like to have more clarification on that. I mean, I'm sure she's fine. She'd probably be a great leader, but I don't know, man. It just sort of seems like maybe and again, we have to see this here. We have to see what happens in the next few episodes. But I feel like she could have been more assertive in this process and is like, okay, so yeah, the clones can do their thing, but they are under my authority. I am going to take this here and I'm going to broadcast the people. And maybe it was just we'll see what happens in the next episode, because technically we do have Maul somewhat under control, I guess. Spoiler alert, even though we're spoiling everything. But anyway, let's keep moving here. So we have conversation between Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. We kind of get how that goes. There's still a little animosity there. And then we're looking for Maul. We're back looking through the sewers. We've got random skirmishes everywhere. They're not able to locate him. And Maul takes a hostage. Old Jesse, the ARC Trooper Jesse, with his giant Imperial symbol on his face.
He could somehow tell that he was older.
Well, Maul, takes the information from Jesse, kind of reminiscent of Kylo's sort of technique, that he would have acquired from the Snoke. And again, this is actually the scene where you can clearly see his earring, by the way, when he's talking to Jesse.
Really?
Top left ear, brother. He's got a little pin in there. Just a little earring. Just a little one.
It's an accessory.
I've never noticed that before. I'm going to seriously go back and see if that was like just new or something added here. But yeah, so there you go. So then we get our conversation with the former minister, our kind of collaborator here. And, he's trying to be coy. I could tell you, all the information you need to know, but, maybe I won't. And then he gets shot twice.
Yeah, did you see that coming? Because I did. I mean, there's quite a good little warning with Maul before that scene anyway. So
Saxon isn't a very good shot, though. He should have murdered him, but he put 2 shots in his shoulders.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
And also, how did he sneak in there to that specific location?
He's just good.
That's what I'd like to know.
I mean, he could have literally like put a good shot on the minister, and then he could have taken a pop shot at. Well, I don't know. I guess the way positioning where he probably couldn't have gotten Ahsoka or Bo there because they're kind of on the other side of the cell. But I feel like they should have been able to cap him. Yeah. I don't know, Saxon. You're just a loser. But anyway, he does make mention to Ahsoka that Maul was looking specifically for Skywalker. He had a vision, and that's why he wanted Skywalker here. We get Bo's little cool fight with Saxon. I really kind of like this little sequence here with Bo and Saxon fighting it out in the elevator shaft.
Yeah, the elevator was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. Just a little hand-to-hand combat. Mandalorians like to punch each other in the helmets, which I still think is not very fun. Saxon likes to use that flamethrower, though. He really enjoys that. That's his favorite. Yeah. Just like our Mando, old Din Djarin. He just loves that. He just loves that flamethrower. Bo is not able to, defeat him, Saxon, but he does unfortunately get away. She does a cool little, jetpack move here to stop the elevator coming down on her. But
yes, it short circuits and ruins the jetpack over a very long period of time.
Yep. Yeah, right. So the Saxon does get away, unfortunately, and then we have Maul's little his little speech here, which was actually pretty good. Basically, saying you guys won't die a dishonorable death, we'll die in battle. So let's go do our thing. And of course, we all know Maul's, he's not going to die with them, but we do get Maul here in the throne room. He just knows his way around the city. He's just freaking Harry Houdini, But this was actually a lot of fun, this whole scene here. Bo attempts to shoot at him. He's able to redirect her shots, which is pretty BA.
Yeah, he was a little better at than old Kylo, I would say.
Well, Kylo was able to stop it for a while. I don't know. I don't know which one is better. It's just cool to see, for like powerful Force abilities, I think. And kind of swats Bo back. This is obviously between Maul and Ahsoka. And then we sort of, we see the battle going on outside. The Mandos are attacking the clones. Obviously Rex is out and Bo goes to help. And then we have the showdown. This sequence of events, and I wanted to talk to you about this. This sequence of events gave me a lot of Last Jedi vibes. And it's constantly this thing, holding out the hand, help me. It's the same thing with Vader and Luke and Empire. And it's the same thing with Kylo and Rey in Last Jedi. And it's the same thing here. They're all reaching out, join me, and we'll do this. It's like, in this case, Maul's like, join me, and we will defeat Sidious. How epic would it have been in an alternate world if they actually did join forces and went down and try and beat down Sidious? You think they would have done better than all the lame Jedi Masters who went against him in his office?
No, I don't think Ahsoka would have done very well, honestly.
And that's
I wouldn't bet on them.
That's the issue. Maul and old Savage. I'm going to call him Savage because I hate that name. Not
Savage.
He could have been an okay character, but his name was Savage. Okay, not Savage, which sounds like the Navage, which is a nose thing you throw up your nose and it shoots water in your nose. Old
Those
Savage.
Awesome.
Savage Oppress. Sorry, I just sometimes names kill me. But anyway,
I will savagely oppress you with my lightsabers through your gut.
Well, they didn't stand a chance against Palpatine. He handled them. So now you have, Maul, who is powerful in his own right, but he's got metal legs. He's half the man he used to be.
He's more machine than man now, literally, unlike Vader.
Exactly. And Ahsoka, who's, could she have, basically been at the rank of Jedi Knight right now? Maybe. But she's still not.
Think of who Palpatine has taken down.
Mm-hmm.
High Council members were just, he cut through it like butter.
Well.
And watch, then I'll cut this rock and it won't go dull. Then I'll cut this tomato, which is, Kit Fisto's throat.
Poor Kit Fisto. He did have trouble with old Mace Windu.
Yeah, who wouldn't though?
Well, I think that there's a lot of debate around that. Did he really have trouble with Mace, or did he allow himself to get to that point to turn Anakin? Blah blah blah. Anyway, I don't know how well they would have done, but it would have been interesting to see. Obviously, the biggest retcon of all retcons. How shocked would you have been if they actually did join forces? Like, we're going to kill Palpatine now. We're off to see the wizard.
Just holding hands, skipping along as they're getting ready to go kill old Papa Palps.
Then you just see those old shows where they just have the ghost face come into frame, and it's just Dave Filoni is just like, this is my Star Wars now. Oh, goodness.
And then in the background, there's just a video of people burning the original Star Wars trilogy. burning DVD combo sets of them.
They just arrive in the Jedi Temple right as little Liam's like, Master Skywalker, what should we do? And then they just kill Anakin right there. Don't worry, little Liam, you're fine now.
But then Darth Maul decides to kill them all. Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. Oh, goodness.
Yes, they save him from Anakin, and then Darth Maul ignites his lightsaber. And little Liam's like, oh, come on.
Yes, you must also die as well. Crap. It is interesting, the dialogue here, though, as we're seeing Ahsoka and Maul do their dance, because Maul's right. He is actually right in this instance. He knows who the enemy is. He knows what's coming. You know, because she's even like, well, we'll take you to the council. It's like, what are you talking about? The Republic's dead. You just are too blind to see it. Yeah. And it's dead. The time of the Jedi are over. These are true statements. Even if Palpatine were taken down, those statements are true. And we've seen the erosion of these two institutions in all the literature, Master and Apprentice. We've seen this throughout this timeline. It is over. And trying to constantly save it is a losing battle. And I truly believe that. It is a losing battle at this point because they've lost themselves. But
in this timeline, the Republic was truly dead around 50, 60 years before these events.
Well,
you can really argue that. Or dying. A very painful, slow death.
Yeah, it's tough. It is really tough, but I think everything he says is right. Now, his motivation is probably not great because he still has all these syndicate folks. And by the way, Easter egg, did you catch old Dryden Voss?
Yeah, going into hiding.
Yeah. Old Dryden's out there, man. That was pretty cool to see. You know, kind of a little bit of a,
I bought you a yacht.
Dryden.
You can just go in hiding in your yacht.
Yeah, you and that brown-haired girl. Yeah, take her too.
Yeah.
Go into yacht hiding. Maybe kill some governors. It'll be great. No, I was a little.
You need to go into hiding. Plus, you need to go into hiding, Dryden. Plus, we have this orphan here. I don't know if you want her or not.
That's later. We're mingling timelines. That's much later than that because the Empire was already formed in that timeline. But anyway, So then we engage in probably one of the most epic lightsaber battles in animated history, and we looked this up, and it was mocapped, so motion capture. We did have Ray Park doing the motion capture for Maul, and then I pulled this up. I pulled it up. It's in a tab. Where's the tab? Lauren Mary Kim, stunt woman who did Ahsoka's part here. As soon as I saw that, I was like, this is different. Like, this is all different. The movements were fluid. They seemed real. And
there's a weird jerkiness to Clone Wars. It's hard to explain, but if you watch Clone Wars, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And it just wasn't there, and it was beautiful.
Well, it's kind of like like articulated action figures. You know how they kind of have that limited movement that's just not natural. It's kind of the same here. Oh, and there was one more scene because now I'm being professional, and actually I have the episode up here as we're watching this part where the glass shatters, and it's just all. It's like
that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like a moment stopped in time or slowed down. Ash, glass is going everywhere. You can see Ahsoka's clearly thinking through this. She, Maul's hand is outstretched, and again, this was the part where I was like, this is like a callback to like Last Jedi and also Empire Strikes Back, but Last Jedi is exactly what I saw in this case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. And Ahsoka was pretty much here, but her issue is that she still believes in Anakin. She believes in that character. She believes in the man that was her teacher and her master and her friend. And that guy's no more. Well,
he's already dead at this point,
he
essentially.
He pretty soon will be. But then we start this lightsaber battle, and we have that classic episode 1, Ray Park, dual blade lightsaber, just, sort of igniting that and bringing it out. I can't.
Did you catch as soon as he does that, there's just the slightest hint of Duel of Fates that plays?
A little
just
bit,
for a split second. Yeah.
Yep. But it was just so, he's such a pro anyway. He is a complete pro. And when we were at Celebration in Chicago, he was doing autographs, and on the floor, I don't know, somebody who was in a mall costume or cosplay actually, no, that was not at Celebration. That was at Wizard World in Columbus. That's right. That was at Wizard World. I forgot all about that. And I'm pretty sure it was one of the 501st guys, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he did like the whole spinny routine. It was awesome. Really? The guy has it, and he'll always have it. And I think there was another video. I think he also did it at Celebration, but he did it at Wizard World. And I just thought that was really, really neat to be a part of. But this motion capture was so good. It was amazingly fluid. I can't rave enough about it. It was great.
And it really does stand. It helps, make these last 4 episodes stand apart from the rest of the season, the rest of the series so much that it does truly feel more like a movie than a show.
Yes.
These last 4 episodes.
100%.
And I appreciate it so much,
Yep. So do I. There was a part here, though, towards the end of the fight in the throne room where Ahsoka, sort of kicks him out of a window, and you can see that she's winded at this point. Like, she's exerted a lot of her energy battling Maul, but she's still obviously determined. She's tapping into some force here, right? Yeah. I mean, this is a fight. Let's see here. So intermittently, we still have our fight with the Mandalorians. We do get, reinforcements. The Bo's Mandalorians kind of coming in here and just rocketing everybody. Just
clearing the battlefield real quick, including stormtroopers.
Exactly.
Clone troopers. Yep. A couple clone troopers did die from those.
Exactly. And then we have Ahsoka here, going after Maul. She clearly knows that little thing didn't kill him. He's not going to get his Disney death quite yet. And then we have this. I thought it was going to be hokey when I first saw it, but it really wasn't. Up in the rafter type things up in the sky.
Yeah, which have no purpose whatsoever, but okay.
The dome. You've entered the Thunderdome. But Maul's trying to escape. He's got a ship coming in, and he's leaving the Mandalorians. He even tells Saxon, it's like, have fun, buddy. Enjoy Mandalore, you dork.
Right.
But then we have Ahsoka again. Confrontation. I thought it was going to be hokey, but it wasn't. The battle on these rafters, it looked so fluid. It looked, I don't know, man. It looked epic.
Mm-hmm.
The footwork is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you catch how there was one little part in this battle where Maul essentially had Ahsoka completely?
Well, he disarms her.
Yes.
There were technically two, like one where she was holding on to a beam, but towards the climax, he's able to bat away one of her sabers, then he's able to bat away the other one. So he does disarm her, and that's obviously a big deal, kind of cuts one of the beams. And he even says, he's like, we could have done this, you know? And I think even that's kind of a callback as well to a few other things, even like call back to like Obi-Wan and Anakin after Obi-Wan to defeat him. And, you know, it's like, you are my brother.
Yeah.
You are the chosen one. And it's kind of like this. It's like, we could have done this. We could have did it. It's like, what the hell's your problem?
Yeah.
I do like the fact, though, that Ahsoka did best Maul, though, in the end here, unarmed.
In a very smart way, too.
Yes.
Just really awesome how she was able to do it.
And it displays her power as well. When she's able to take his lightsaber and effectively, you know, throw him off the beam, but she holds him with the Force. And you see the exertion when she's finally able to let him go. The clones are able to take him into custody, but I don't know. It does display even how powerful she can be at times too. But she did. She defeated Maul. At the end of it, she might have been disarmed, but she did defeat him.
Yeah, and there's an interesting moment when she's holding on to him. Probably 10 minutes prior to that, you know, we have this whole thing where we need to seize whatever power we can, and you know, we'll thrive in this new empire.
Yeah.
But at this moment, it's almost like Maul realizes what's going to happen. He even says, you know, kill me, let me go. We're all going to burn.
Yep. Well, and the thing is he knows that being captured, he's probably also a target. So as soon as they click on the order, they're probably going to turn on him and kill him, because Sidious has nothing. He doesn't want him anymore.
Right.
There's no more real usefulness for him. He's already turning his preferred choice right at this very second, more than likely. So, end of the episode, it was so good. It was so good. And it leaves a lot of our early season predictions right intact. We're going to see Order 66, man. We're going to see.
Yes, we are.
We might
probably the last episode.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I honestly would rather it be this coming episode and then see some aftermath right after. Because we don't get to see a lot of aftermath of Order 66 in the Star Wars universe.
That's true. See how Rex kind of escaped it?
Yes. Yeah.
Set that up a little bit.
All we know is he figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't really know how. Because at this point, he still doesn't know about it.
Exactly. Yeah, none of them do. And then maybe kind of provide the setup for the Ahsoka book, I would assume. And you know what's sad? This is the last time. Well, okay, let me roll this back. There is not going to be another conversation between Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker in the current configuration we have now.
That's true. Regardless of what Obi-Wan requested. Isn't that that's extremely sad when you think about it, especially the last conversation they have.
I know. On the ship.
Because it's not what Anakin wanted. It's not the conversation he wanted to have with her.
And it's tough because, again, we talked about it when it happened, that he was so ready to, how have you been? Tell me all your stories. You know, let's get some hot cocoa and sit around a fire and maybe watch a movie together, you know, in our PJs. You know, just like a big brother, you know, tell me what's been going on. I genuinely care and want to know. And, you know, she was obviously a little bit distant, a little bit cold in that moment, a little bit more gold driven. It's wild to think that she, and this is a bit of speculation, we don't know officially, but we can probably speculate that she'll never talk to Anakin Skywalker again.
Right.
That's nuts. Hell, that could have been the last conversation between her and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Think about that.
More than likely, when he goes into hiding, he doesn't contact anyone, not even Yoda. So they're not going to run into each other. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
it was easier to take when we finished out the last season of Clone Wars. We didn't really think about it all that much because she had already left the Jedi Council. We just weren't even really, it wasn't in our minds. Now, leading right up to Order 66, before we could have been like, oh, maybe they ran into each other, maybe they had some kind of reunion. Now we know the reunion they have, and it's not, I don't want to say it's not satisfying, but it's just another tragic footnote in Anakin's story.
I mean, yeah, exactly. We are satisfied with what we're seeing, but it's like a hollowness, I think, that you just know that this isn't going to happen. And even the more you think about it, last time I don't think she sees R2 again either.
No. Probably not, because at this point R2's with Anakin.
Yeah. And then obviously, doesn't really resurface until, they go with, Organa, Bail.
Yeah.
So they go to Alderaan and don't resurface again until obviously, episode 4, A New Hope with Leia.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So and she won't see Padme again either. There's another one.
Too soon. No. Yeah, I know. She won't see Padme. She doesn't even know that Padme's pregnant.
Yeah.
Think about that. She doesn't know that Anakin has kids.
She doesn't know that Anakin's alive through all this. She thinks that he dies.
Exactly.
Yeah, she goes through the next 2 decades thinking he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, God, what a
thinking Obi-Wan's dead too, for that matter. She is the most alone out of all of them.
I was about to say, because she never sees like the holocron that like Kanan has. Does she? No, she would have seen that, right?
I would have to brush up. It's been too long.
Yeah. Any of these people that she has known, this is kind of like the last time she'll see them.
She knows of Padme's death, obviously, because that's public record. She can only assume everyone else's. Sure. And the saddest part is when you think of what Obi-Wan has, what Anakin even has, what Yoda has. Yoda and Obi-Wan know that, the other one's still alive. They both know that Luke's out there, and Leia for that matter.
Leia. Mm-hmm.
And Anakin has Sidious. Ahsoka has no one.
Yeah.
At this, because Rex has to go into hiding too.
Yeah.
Make his own death, so she's just all alone.
I know.
So who's she going to go back to? The sisters? Who?
Well,
who's she have?
I mean, obviously we had the book, and we know what happened. If
but I'm just thinking of what's going through her mind as Order 66 happens.
Right.
She has to feel so alone.
I know.
Everyone she knows and cares for dies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that brings into scope Palpatine's plan, though. Because, like, so many of these people, you just had this whole network, all these people. Yeah. And
her master at the same time, the one that found her. Mm-hmm. Not her master, but the one that found her. Plo
Koon. Was it Plo Koon?
Yeah.
Who did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. There's so much I forget. It's not even funny. Yeah. There's so much I forget.
Yeah, I mean, there's just you don't get to see in many other ways how Order 66 affected the survivors, because we don't get a lot of interaction with the survivors.
Right. True that. Well, great episode. Definitely looking forward to what we get next. We're rumbling towards the end. Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting tired. Ugh, excuse me.
Probably gonna see some. I'm sure we're gonna see at least one 1 hour episode. But do you think the next one will be a little longer too?
I don't think we'll see hour episodes. I think it'll be between 25, 30 minutes for the final two. And then the complete thing will be, obviously what it is, but I don't know. I do think that it'd be a great idea to release like a true theatrical run of this. Melded together. I think a lot of people would be very interested in that. Probably more interested than a $500, whatever complete ridiculous box set that's been edited all to hell. Your favorite moments are gone. Thanks, George. Who shot first? You don't know because it happens different in every version.
It's Russian roulette. Just take a guess.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I think that's about it. So anything else we want to discuss before we sign off for the day?
No, I think we've pretty much dissected this episode. Just an amazing episode. Can't wait to see what we get next.
Yep. Absolutely agree with you there. So yes, folks, if you would like to follow us, make sure to, head on over to the Facebook or follow us on Twitter. That's probably where more activity comes from, although we're both not very social media people in general. But just at TC Plan Podcast, and you can find us. If you'd like to send us an email, anything that you want to talk about, how you got into Star Wars, what did you think of these episodes? What are you thinking about Clone Wars? What are you thinking about the state of Star Wars? Send that over to tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. And our Patreon is also out there if you'd like to help support us. That would be greatly appreciated, but not necessarily necessary. We continue to do what we do as we do forever and ever and ever until Podbean kicks us out.
Yes, until we finally do our final episode when all Star Wars lore has been released, where we actually explain to you how to watch and read everything in order.
Yeah, for sure.
For 5 hours straight.
Yeah. That's going to be nuts. But anyway, folks, hopefully you have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force